Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Judith Limera delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region on today's headlines. President Rodrigo Duterte's attendance to the enthronement rites for Japanese Emperor Naruhito will further enhance the relations between Manila and Tokyo, Malacanang said on Tuesday. Indonesia's new cabinets were introduced at an informal presentation on the palace steps Wednesday, with President Joko Widodo tapping his election arch-rival, a former general with a checkered rights record as defense minister. And a German firm, Volocopter, has brought its drone-like flying taxi to Singapore this week as it eyes a push into the Asian market. President Rodrigo Duterte on Tuesday paid his last respects to his friend and political ally, former Senate President Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr., who succumbed to lymphoma on October 20. In a statement, a presidential spokesperson, Salvador Panelo, said the president headed straight to Pimentel's wake at the Heritage Memorial Park in Taguig City. Shortly after he arrived in Manila around 10:33 p.m. Tuesday from his shortened Japan trip. Panelo said, notwithstanding his trip to Japan being cut short due to a searing pain in the spinal pelvic area of his body, the president was able to endure the same and headed from Villamor Air Base in Pasay City to the wake of former Senate President Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr. Ronald Munsayak, a spokesperson of the Partido Demokratiko Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan or PDP Laban, shared the photos of the president visiting the wake of Pimentel. The late Senate leader's son, Senator Aquilino Pimentel III, also went live on Facebook to document the president's arrival in the wake. Panelo said the president considers the late Senate president as a personal friend who contributed valuable service to the country as a public servant. Pimentel is one of the founders of a PDP Laban, whose current president and chairman are his son and President Duterte, respectively. Pimentel's remains will be brought to the Senate Session Hall in Pasay City on Wednesday morning. His remains will be flown to Cagayan de Oro City until Friday and will be returned on Saturday to the Heritage Memorial Park, where he will be laid to rest. Pimentel served as a Senate president from November 2000 to July 2001 and was also a member of the now-defunct Consultative Committee tasked by Duterte to amend the 1987 Constitution to pave the way for the proposed shift to a federal government. President Rodrigo Duterte's attendance to the enthronement rites for Japanese Emperor Naruhito will further enhance the relations between Manila and Tokyo, Malacanang said on Tuesday. In a press statement, the palace said the Philippine government and the Filipino nation joined the people of Japan in the auspicious ceremonies of the accession to the throne of His Majesty Emperor Naruhito. The Philippine government is confident that this historic occasion will bring new momentum and the further strengthening of an already excellent Philippines-Japan relationship built on a legacy of friendship that succeeding generations will continue to treasure and cultivate, it added. This comes even after the 74-year-old president has to rush home on Tuesday night, 3 days earlier than his scheduled return due to unbearable back pain caused by his recent minor motorcycle accident. Duterte, along with his daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio, attended on Tuesday afternoon the enthronement ceremony for Emperor Naruhito, the 126th monarch of the Chrysanthemum throne. Despite suffering from unbearable back pain after figuring in a minor motorcycle accident last week, President Rodrigo Duterte is still in good condition. Duterte's former aide, Senator Christopher Bongo, made this assurance by sharing a Facebook Live video of the president while inside his car. Take a look.
Kapatid nating Pilipino, pauwi na ang ating mahal na Pangulo papuntang Pilipinas. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Magandang gabi po sa inyo, mga kababayan mo, mga Pilipino. Alam mo, about 4 days ago,
Go then moved his cell phone camera to show the president, who admitted that he was in pain because of the motorcycle accident.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo, mga kababayan ko, mga Pilipino. Alam mo, about 4 days ago, sumimplang ako sa motor. Pagka nagkamotor ka, talagang once or twice sa buhay mo, makatigim talaga ng simplang. Lahat ng magmumotor na sumisimplang, kagaya sa akin, ang ano lang, parang hindi ko matiis yung sa belt banda, 3 inches, medyo masakit talaga. Nag-toothbrush ako kanina pagising ko kasi magkain. Talagang
In other news, Indonesia's new cabinet were introduced at an informal presentation on the palace steps Wednesday, with President Joko Widodo tapping his election arch-rival, a former general with a checkered rights record as defense minister. More than 3 dozen new ministers, the vast majority of them men, sat casually in batik shirts in front of the imposing Doric columns of the Merdeka Palace for the unveiling. Widodo, popularly known as Jokowi, beat Prabowo Subianto in April elections to secure another term as president of the world's third biggest democracy. The victory followed a bitter campaign plagued by fake news online and claims from Subianto that the government staged a massive, systematic and fraudulent election, which sparked a deadly post-poll riots. At least 9 people died in the unrest. But the pair have since appeared together in apparently friendly public meetings, including on Monday when Subianto, 68, hinted that he and another member of his Gerindra party were tapped for top government posts. Announcing Subianto's new role, Jokowi said he believes he doesn't have to tell him about his job. He knows more than he does. Among Jokowi's 38 ministers, former World Bank Managing Director Sri Mulyani Indrawati was picked to serve as another term as finance minister, while Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi kept her post. Nadia Makarim, 35, co-founder of ride-hailing startup Gojek, was chosen to be Education and Culture Minister. This week, Makarim announced his resignation from running a firm valued at some $10 billion. Media mogul Eric Thohir, a former owner of Italian football club Inter Milan and the 2018 Asian Games Organizing Committee chief, was appointed Minister of State-Owned Enterprises. Wiranto, a 72-year-old former army chief, did not return to cabinet as Chief Security Minister, according to an official list.
When visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Welcome back. Trouble in the royal household in Thailand. The country's king is not amused with his 34-year-old consort. She has been stripped of all titles for what the king calls disloyalty and apparent ambition to match the queen's position. This comes less than 3 months after she was given the honor. The former royal bodyguard, known by her nickname Koi, was gifted the title on the king's 67th birthday on July 28. It was the first time in nearly a century a Thai monarch has taken a consort. A few days later, the palace released images of the short-haired Koi in combat fatigues shooting weapons, flying a jet and preparing to parachute from a plane, as well as holding the king's hand. It was an intimate and rare glimpse into the private life of Thailand's powerful, ultra-wealthy and inscrutable monarch. He has dramatically bolstered his authority since his 2016 ascension to the throne, pulling the immense wealth of the crown under his direct control and recently restructuring key army units to his command. The Thai monarchy is protected by a harsh defamation law, making open discussion on the institution for the public and media based inside the country all but impossible. Koi is a qualified pilot and former army nurse. Meanwhile, Thailand edged closer Tuesday to banning glyphosate and 2 other controversial pesticides despite protests from farmers in a multi-billion-dollar agriculture industry aiming to be the kitchen of the world. Agriculture employs 40% of Thailand's population, and the Southeast Asian country is one of the world's leading rice and sugar exporters. It is also one of the biggest consumers of pesticides, being banned or phased out in other parts of the globe because of links to a variety of illnesses. Thailand's National Hazardous Substances Committee voted to ban glyphosate and chemicals paraquat and chlorpyrifos, officials said. The ban will be effective on December 1st. Committee Chair Panuwat Triyang Julsuri of the Ministry of Industry told reporters. Paraquat, a herbicide which the U.S. Centers for Disease Control calls highly poisonous, has been banned in Europe since 2007. Studies have linked the pesticide chlorpyrifos to developmental delays in children, while critics say the weed killer glyphosate is a likely cause of cancer. Farming organizations and the chemical industry have lobbied for the continued use of glyphosate, sold under the trade name Roundup, made by a Bayer subsidiary Monsanto. In the U.S., there are more than 13,000 lawsuits with plaintiffs claiming glyphosate causes different kinds of cancer, even though it is widely used in agriculture there. The company has suffered several defeats in court that it plans to appeal against. Australia became the first European Union member to forbid all glyphosate use in July, with restrictions also enforced in the Czech Republic, Italy, and the Netherlands. France is phasing it out by 2023.
ผลการลงมติคือศาลพาราคอตยกเลิกการใช้ภายในวันที่ 1 ธันวาคม 2562 จำนวน 20 คน ไกลโฟเซตยกเลิกการใช้จำนวน 19 คน
ราคาสินค้าเนี่ยยังอยู่ระดับเดิม2 บาทอย่างมันสำปะหลังนะครับเนาะมันสำปะหลัง2 บาทแต่ถ้ามีการแบนสารนะครับผม
Meanwhile, the government of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, or the Lao PDR, alongside the ASEAN Regional Mine Action Center, or ARMAC, and the Geneva International Center for Humanitarian Demining, held a regional workshop on gender equality and empowerment in ASEAN Mine Explosive Remnants of War, or ERW action in Vientiane on October 21st to 22nd, with funding support from the Government of Canada through the Mission of Canada to ASEAN and the Clearing for Results Project Cambodia. The 2-day workshop gathered 10 ASEAN member states, including those affected and not affected by landmines, unexploded ordnance or ERW, to share methods on how to include gender approaches and perspectives into their national mine ERW action activities. At the workshop, the participants analyzed their work in mine ERW action through a gender and diversity lens, assessing how mine ERW action projects and programs are implemented to ensure that the priorities and capabilities of women, girls, boys, men, and diverse groups are highlighted and their needs are met. Leading a component of the workshop, the GICHD emphasized that with increased gender and diversity awareness and knowledge acquired through information sharing events and other outreach activities, mine ERW action operators will hopefully have the capacity and the will to effectively mainstream gender and diversity into their planning and activities. In addition to building AM's capacity on gender mainstreaming in mine ERW action, the workshop also provided a platform for AMS to share their experiences, best practices, and lessons learned on integrating gender into their work. Speaking at the event, Technical Officer for Mine Action at ARMAC, DWI Premiswari, reiterated that the regional workshop provided an opportunity to bring greater attention to the importance of gender and diversity aspects in mine ERW action and other relevant programs. By considering the inclusiveness of gender, the community will benefit from greater impacts and increased sustainability in future programs. She added, "It is encouraging to see both men and women from ASEAN member states share their knowledge, expertise, and experience and learn from each other on how to optimize gender mainstreaming in mine ERW action." Funding the workshop through the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives for the second time, the Mission of Canada to ASEAN emphasized Canada's commitment to develop and implement.
Gorgeous white sandy beaches that stay cool to touch even on the hottest summer days. Blue-green ocean waves and the warm ocean breeze. There's no wonder why Dr. Beach has named Siesta Key, Florida the #1 beach in the United States. Don't forget to watch episodes of Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I'm Melissa Protest coming to you from Siesta Key, Florida, and I am one with 25.
Welcome back. German firm Volocopter has brought its drone-like flying taxi to Singapore this week. As it eyes a push into the Asian market, the 18-propeller vehicle flew for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds during a test flight on Tuesday. Watch this.
The Volocopter is designed to be extremely safe. So it has 18 propellers, 18 because this gives us a very high degree of redundancy. Actually, all of our critical system components are designed in a redundant way so that if any individual component fails, the overall system can fully compensate for it and you can safely complete your mission.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Gamera, and I'm 1 with 25.